Hello, this is Perry Prescott with Knowware Solutions, and today I wanted to just take you through a very fast run-through of Microsoft's new Dynamics 365 for Operations. So what you see in front of you today is the core user experience. Now this is all HTML5 browser-based, so this is running, as you can see, in Internet Explorer at the moment. Any browser, any device is what they're touting from Safari, Google, Internet Explorer, Chrome, also Android and iOS devices. So what you'll notice across the top, we actually have a little bit of branding here. This image, the banner bar, I can change and actually set that to have a company logo. But right now I'm set with a default company that's in the system we're using that's called USMF. And based on my security roles, I'm set up as a system administrator for all these different companies. But this is how I move in and out from the company menus themselves. I also have a new feature within the system, a quick search. And so if I'm looking for something about purchase orders, I can just start freeform texting and it'll give me references. And so maybe purchase agreements was what I was looking for. If I simply just put in that search bar, it actually drives me right to that physical area within the system. Okay, so some new searchability. We've got notifications, so anything happening within the system, maybe approvals or errors, that's where we get the detail here. The happy face is Microsoft's feedback directly to the Dynamics 365 Ops development team. We have some new things within personalization that allow us to change the user experience. So if I have multiple companies open, right now my default colors are black and blue, but maybe for another company than USMF, maybe I'm going to set up teal or green or pink or some other color, so when I'm down on the bar looking at all these things popped up, I can easily find which company was I working with. So we've got some color choices, we've got some preferences, so what company do I default and start up on? If I have dashboards, KPIs and such that are available, then I can set those defaults. I also have the ability to set my core language. So even though the implementation may be, all based on US dollars and English, but the users themselves can change the different languages. So maybe Spanish is my first language, so I could change my user experience to present instead of English, it could present in Spanish, and that only affects myself. I can also set my date and time formats, my time zones, and then my core region. A little bit of information here about the account, some Microsoft information, telemetry and such of how the user is set up and working through the system, and then any workflow that has been assigned to myself at this point. So a few new things, features here basically within the top toolbar. I can ask questions, sort of AXUG, some of the different help sites that are out there. And then within the blue bar itself, any of the lists within the system that you'll see in just a moment, but any of the lists can be imported and exported with Microsoft Excel. I also have the ability to refresh the page itself and then open in a new window. So lots of new features within the core system itself. Off to the left, Microsoft calls this the hamburger. And so if I open this up, what I get is my core set of workspaces, which is all of these tiles are called workspaces, and there are 36 of these out of the box. And these are basically groupings of logical work that a department, a team, or a person may do. So for example, for Perry Product Information Management, I created my own workspace that allows me to do a couple things that were important to me. So release products, there's 205 that are out currently. There's a bunch of different variant models that are available, and then some barcode and item processes happening here. And then I can also see a list of all the release products that have been created in the system recently, and then I can also look at new bills of materials. So again, the concept of a workspace is tasks that typically are done by users or groups or departments without having to navigate the entire system. And when I change a user, when I log in as somebody else with lesser permissions, they will have less of these tiles, and we'll see that in just a moment. So I've got a list of all of my workspaces, which is just a recap of the tiles. So there's a visual queue here, but then there's a nice list view of the workspaces. And then all the modules that are included with Dynamics 365 Ops, it's all or none basically. So you get everything. So AP, AR, Audit Workbench, Budget, Cash and Bank Management, Consolidation, Cost Accounting, Cost Management, Credit and Collections, Expense Management, Fixed Assets, Fleet Management, General Ledger, Human Resources, Inventory, Master Planning or MRP, Org Admin, Payroll, Procurement and Sourcing, Product Information, Production Control, Project Management and Accounting, Retail, so we have a full point of sale module as well, Sales and Marketing, Service Management, System Admin, Tax Integrations, Time and Attendance, Transport, Vendor Collaboration Portal, and Warehousing. So all these modules are included, and if you're set up as an enterprise user with a license, then you have access to all this based on your roles and permissions. So a little bit about how the system is set up itself. And we're going to just jump in and share the experience a little bit deeper. So we're going to look at accounts receivable. And what I get is a landing page with, based on my permissions, all the things that I have access to. So for AR, for example, I can look at my customer list. And so what I get is a list here, and I can reorder, resort, I can filter all of these different column headings. I can right-click on the column headings and change the order that they appear in and add or subtract columns. And then you'll also notice off on the right, we have the concept of fast tabbing. So I'm looking here at Allied Integrated, and instead of having to open in the full customer card, I can see some core information about that customer just at a glance here, okay? So again, any of these lists within the systems, I actually can go up here to Excel, and now I can export this list, this customer list, and it will give me a Excel format. What's fun about that concept is if you have mass updates that you'd like to do, instead of going in and updating every single customer, now I can export this customer list, make my modifications to the customers or columns that apply, and now I can import that back in to update the system dynamically. So lots of new interoperability between Dynamics 365 Operations, Office 365, and now also Power BI. Okay. So if I go in just a little bit deeper here, I'm going to go open the customer card for Allied Integrated. And what you'll see here is I basically get header information about my customer. Let me close this filter out. Header information about my customer, and now I have everything, all their addresses. So I can have multiple addresses for one customer. It could be delivery, it could be billing, it could be returns. I have all my contact information, miscellaneous details, my sales demographic, credit and collections. So I just wanted to show you this format because every module looks the same. So if you've learned accounts receivable and you've learned how to navigate, and now I want to look at maybe open invoices or sales orders, you'll notice the experience is completely the same. And so any of these list pages that I get in, you'll see that there's this blue ribbon bar, and it's really sort of the life cycle of an invoice, a customer, or an item. So I can start with a sales order, I can sell, I can manage, I can pick, pack, and ship it, I can invoice it, I can look at retail implications for it, where the warehousing and transportation aspects apply to it. So again, every module is set up fairly intuitively, and once you learn one, it's really fun to actually move through the rest. One final thing I'll show you is there's a big integration now with Microsoft's Power BI, so business intelligence connected to ERP. It's a really amazing and fast integration at this point. So let's go take a quick look at, how about, looking for cash. Now let's take invoicing. I don't have anything loaded in there. So let's look at cost analysis. So within Power BI now, we actually have different, you can see KPIs now that are dynamic within the workspace module itself. And you'll notice that if I click on this, I'm getting some detail as I move through these different bar charts. So now instead of just static data, I also have different KPIs that I can drag and drop into these workspaces. And you'll see here, connect with your Power BI instance. So lots of new functionality tying Power BI and different charts and graphs into your user experience. So that's just a little bit of Dynamics 365 for Operations. Love to talk to you more if you're planning a new implementation or an upgrade. Not sure where to start or how to move through the process. We'd love to talk to you. Again, Perry Prescott with Knowware Solutions. You can find us at knowwaresolutions.com. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.